Hey yo, salute to the people. It's the social forecast. Today is Monday, July 15th, and I hope you all do something today to further your goals and to help you realize your dreams. All right, let's get into it. Hey yo, I just came across this tweet on Twitter, and this is the type of shit that got you women fucked up in the dating game and when it comes to relationships. And this is a big part of the reason why a lot of you women can't find the right type of dudes. And this is why a lot of you are single and will be single. And if you do end up finding somebody, you'll fuck it up before it has a chance to even go somewhere. And this is the type of shit that continues to piss me off. And that's why I continue to speak on shit like this. So, this chick posted on Twitter, niggas want you to prove your worth to them in order for them to treat you right. Worst mindset to have with me because I'm not auditioning for treatment. I know what I deserve. The minute you pursued me was the minute you knew my worth. And then she finishes off with, don't play with me. Let me explain something to y'all ladies. Now look, first of all, I don't have any issues with the person feeling like they know their worth. I don't have any issues with a person feeling like they deserve a certain type of treatment and they're not going to settle for anything less than that treatment. I fully agree. Nobody should be willing to deal with anything less than what they think should be brought to the table if they're going to deal with another person in that type of way. But this is not a dating thing. This is not a men-women thing. This is not a relationship thing. This is common sense, human nature, normal, everyday shit. How come out in the world and everything we do in life, whether it be school or work or whatever goals a person is pursuing, we all understand the basic fundamental fact that whatever we do, we have to prove ourselves. When you apply to a new job and you submit what's called a resume or you fill out what's called an application, that is a history of what you've done in a relatable field, if not that exact field, that proves you are qualified for that job. When you go to an interview, you understand that you are going to be questioned. And those questions are going to pertain to things that revolve around those job functions. And if you don't have the answers that would let that interviewer know, or at least believe that you are somewhat qualified for that position, you're going to have a hard time getting that position. When we go to school, we have all been to school, even those of us who have not pursued higher education after grade school and after, high school and things like that. You still understand. Grades are not handed out. You have to prove yourself by knowing the work, by doing the work, studying, taking exams, and then doing well on those exams. Anything in life that you do, when you apply for a job or a certification or whatever it is, and a background check is run on you, again, that is a history of what your behavior has been over a certain period of time that will show what kind of person you are and whether or not you should be extended whatever it is you're going for. Same thing when it comes to financial shit. You apply for a loan for a car or for a home or a credit card, and they run your credit report. That is a history of your financial obligations and whether or not you have been able to meet them. And you have to be able to prove to that financial institution that you are worthy of them extending that line of credit to you. So how the fuck come when it comes to relating, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to us dealing with each other, we don't think the same rules apply? I will never understand that shit. And this could be a big part of the reason why so many people don't know how to take a person like me. When you get into a new situation with somebody, first of all, let me dispel the first part of this that I feel like needs to be dispelled. A person approaching you, and let's actually address this woman because she's talking about men, obviously. Ladies, when a man approaches you, it could be for a lot of different reasons. Maybe they find you visually appealing. Maybe they work with you or go to school with you, or they just see you around on several occasions. Maybe they've had small conversations with you, and maybe they just like a certain vibe, or they feel like you're smart and that's what is appealing to them, or they feel like you got a certain style that is appealing to them. That's just surface shit though. The more you interact with a person in an intimate setting, the more that person comes to learn what that true connection is, and either that connection is going to get stronger or it's going to get weaker. You having the mindset that, nah, I deserve this level of treatment and I shouldn't have to prove to you that I deserve that. That shit is retarded. And I know we're not supposed to say retarded in 2019, but that shit's fucking retarded. How the fuck could you possibly think that just because I show interest in you or someone show interest in you, that means they know your worth? That's not true. Dating is as much a job interview or a probationary period at work or a test of the kind of person you are as anything else in life is. We know that because there's so many different nuances and issues that come into play when it comes to dating, and that's why a lot of couples don't last. That's why a lot of relationships don't last. You do have to, the more you women continue to enter into relationships with the mindset that you don't have to prove yourself to deserve a certain type of treatment, the more you will not get the treatment that you claim to be looking for. All women are not worth certain types of treatment, although you all feel like you are, and you may or may not be. But if you go into a situation with that man thinking, nah, he should just treat me this way because I say I deserve it, well, that don't make any sense, because how are you treating that man? And these are the kind of the kinds of inequalities that have me perplexed when it comes to heterosexual men-women relationships, and I'm sure it applies to, same-sex relationships as well. But I can only speak on what my experiences are as a heterosexual man who have come across in my lifetime too many women, be it friends, acquaintances, be it past relationships, of women thinking that they deserve the best treatment just because they're with you. That's bullshit, especially when those same courtesies are not extended to us as men. And it's about time men stop catering to the societal pressures of women into thinking that every woman is a queen and every woman should be treated like she's the best thing on the face of this earth. And that's not the case. Men, please treat these women the way they deserve to be treated. If the attention that you show me, if the effort that you put in does not warrant me treating you like you're the best thing that's ever happened to me, I am not going to be able to do that for you. I apologize. But this tweet and tweets like this that I have come across time and time again continues to be proof positive that you women don't have a clue. Now, let me see. There's a comment from somebody that says, I'm not going through hell to prove shit to nobody. Fuck you. On people disagreeing with what I said. I guess she thinks it's only men. Ask me, do I give a damn? I said what I said. Since I have nothing to promote, no. It says, I want to see some comments from people who, okay. There's a comment from somebody who says, I get that trendy mindset that goes like, I know my value. I do not have to prove anything, but would you give everything to a guy you don't trust? I think loving someone is a learning process. We all need to prove ourselves to others in some aspects. That's how trust is built up. That's 100% factual. I don't know where the issue came into play. I don't know if too many of you battered women who have been in fucked up relationships who just are so far to the left of, I'm never going to be treated like shit again. I'm never going to be underappreciated again. So you just go in from the door thinking, the second I see some shit that I feel like I got to go out of my way to prove myself, fuck that. Continue to have that mindset. And you will continue to see the trend of fucked up relationships and a bunch of men who you feel like ain't shit, but may not be the reality. Because a lot of men y'all women think ain't shit, in actuality, could just be that man doesn't feel like you're worth him showing just the kind of individual that he can be. This shit don't exist in a fucking vacuum. There's not too many purely bad people in the world. Some people are bad, some people are good. Some people are good at times, some people are bad at times. Most people are neutral and are products of their environment. Most people are reactionary and react to the shit that goes on around them and the shit that they experience. And that's perfectly understandable. And until a lot of you women learn to unadopt the mindset that you go into a situation and you should be treated like gold because you feel you're worth your weight in it, I implore you, please disavow, disown, drop that mindset, because it's not going to get you anywhere. And if you're the kind of person to say, fuck it, I'll just be alone, then that's cool, because most likely that's where you're going to end up. Or you're going to end up in a situation with somebody who's just there for whatever reason they're there for, but it's not going to be for anything meaningful. Here goes another woman who said, you can treat them with all the love in your heart, even sell your soul to them, and it still will never be enough to make them stay. Somebody said, if you have doubts, why you even approach her? What? Okay, this is the kind of bullshit. This is the kind of bullshit that makes it clear that a lot of you women, fuck, will never find true love or real love or whatever that looks like, but that y'all don't even know what it is the fuck to look for. The fuck you mean, why did you approach somebody if you have doubts? If you approach a perfect stranger because you're visually attracted to them in some way, shape, or form, that shit don't say nothing or have nothing to do with what that person's morals are, whether that person could potentially make a good wife, whether they have those qualities, whether you want them to raise your children, whether you want to build a home with them, whether you want to build a family unit and a strong bond with them. Approaching somebody just means, based on what I see on the surface, there's something here that I would like to pursue to see if there's something more that can come out of this. That's all that shit means. That shit is not no free pass for you to be like, okay, I'm a queen, and treat me like I'm on a pedestal and like I have a crown on my head. What's wrong with you ladies thinking that shit? Especially when, and I go back to this shit again, especially when we as men cannot have that same mindset. We have to prove ourselves to you. Or is it that because society feels like men should have to prove themselves to women and it shouldn't be the other way around? Is that the reason why you ladies think the way you do? I would like to know. Because when I see tweets like this, I understand a lot of times it's just bitter, battered, bruised, damaged, abused women, mentally, emotionally, physically, what have you. And I'm not going to ever make fun of anybody's plight or try to impugn somebody's beliefs on what they feel, should be acceptable to them. But I really want to know in an honest way, is it realistic? The pressure that you women continue to put on us men, and the continued result that those pressures continue to bring about, at which point do you women think maybe it's time to try something different? Because if you all continue to take the same approach, and the men that you take that approach with continue to say, nah, I'm not beat, I'm not about to give 100% to somebody who thinks they deserve it off rip just because I'm dealing with them, then maybe it's time to try something different. And maybe for the people who are willing to try something different, maybe they see a different result. I would love to know what y'all think about this shit. Anyway, if you listen to my content, you think I'm overly opinionated, you're 100% correct. We all have opinions. You listen to my content, you think I talk a lot of shit, you're 100% correct. I talk a lot of shit because I'm passionate about the shit that I talk about. At the end of the day, I'm just a realist who sees shit for what it is and who approaches every situation in a commonsensical way. My logic is undeniable. And that logic is that there are few things that separate us: oceans, borders, and culture. Outside of those few things, we're all just a part of one human race trying to find the best way to carve out a life for ourselves and the people we care about. I don't pretend to know everything. I just know what I know. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace and love.